Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Gwenom, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
Hey guys, how's it going out there? How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm good. Just tired.
That's good. Well, not good, but I understand. How are you doing there, Brad?
I'm doing fine. I won a tournament today.
How are you doing, Steven? Oh,
Uh,
gosh, I keep cutting people off. Sorry. How are you doing today, Steven?
I'm fine. I had a long drive, but I made it to South Carolina pretty safely. So
I'm glad to hear it. I'm moving fast, I guess, because we've got a lot to talk about. So first, is there any news that came out from AMG that we need to discuss? I do not believe that there is, but I might have missed something.
Only the character we're going to talk about later.
That's yes. Only the release of Gwenom, which is exciting. Upcoming tournaments on this Saturday. That is Saturday, the 20th of April. There is going to be a tournament at Fabricators Forge up in Pittsburgh. That's being run by Bryce. So if you're in that area, head on over. And then on the 27th of April, there's going to be a tournament at Recess Games in North Olmsted, Ohio. This is Steven's home store, and myself, I plan to go to participate.
I'm going to,
and I don't want
Fred.
to speak for anyone else.
I'm going to.
Okay. I didn't want to speak for you, but
we
yes.
just talked about this, though, Fred.
Well, myself and Brad will be there as well. So we'll be there at on the 27th of April.
I guess I will too.
I would hope.
That would be hilarious, just for the record.
Well, no, it wouldn't be hilarious because if I didn't show up, that means a tragedy might have happened to my family.
Oh
Well,
no.
not. It'd be even funnier if you just didn't show up because you didn't want to hang out with them.
Peace out. Yeah, exactly.
Just peace out. So that's what we've got right now slated for the month of April. But coming up in May, on May the 18th, there is going to be a tournament in South Charleston. And this is going to be the first points qualifier for the BEC. Are there two C's?
There's two C's.
Two C's. BECC tournament that's going to be happening. Hey, Brad, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that now that we're willing to talk about it?
So the BECC is the Big East Conference Circuit, and it consists of 4 regions. One of those regions is West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and that's the one we are in. The other ones are other areas, and if you're in those areas, you'll probably hear about it. But it's all Eastern stuff. There's like a Northeastern one, a Delaware, Maryland, Virginia one, and it's called Tri-State, but I don't remember what the 3 states are. But if you're from one of those regions, you can go to qualifiers in your region, and you can earn points for doing well. And then the top 8 from each region will go to a 32-person tournament for lots of big prizes and bragging rights and all that stuff. And so there will be qualifiers throughout the year. And the first one is in Charleston, West Virginia, Lost Legion Games of Comics on May 18th. Registration is open. I've posted the Longshanks link in the relevant Discord, and hopefully that's getting shared out. So far, there are 2 people signed up.
I'll get on it. I'll get on it eventually.
I won't.
I've got a question, actually. Do you think that the new Spider Foes models will be out by then? By May 18th?
May 10th is their release.
Yeah.
I thought they were the 17th. And
boy, that's cutting it real close.
And the affiliation The affiliation boxes were the 10th, I thought.
Maybe the 10th is pre-order. That could be.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's cutting it close for me. So I do plan to get some games in. I do want to get some games in of practice before I participate in a tournament with the new models. But
You can
we'll
proxy
see.
them.
We'll see if I can. Yeah, I could proxy them.
I've been
Hey,
proxying stuff for weeks. What do you mean?
hey,
Yeah.
Fred.
Yeah.
If you do get enough points to qualify to go to the big tournament, you would have to have your models painted.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right.
Fred has attended a fully painted event.
Yes, I was
It
just
took
letting
him
him know.
it took him weeks to get my models back to me.
It did.
He still has not given all the models back.
I still have Brandon's Modoc too. I'm sorry.
I don't really have a spot for it right now, so like you just keep that guy right now.
Okay.
Unless keep him until he's not on your list anymore.
That might be soon, depending on when the new Spider Foes stuff drops.
I know that was the hope.
Yeah.
I have at least a month. All right.
All right. Well, that is something exciting that is going on. We've known about it for a little bit, but we didn't want to talk about it until we had the ducks in a row. So we are going to be participating and hopefully do okay. I mean, I know our region pretty well, and I'm not one of the top 8.
I would like
honest.
to confirm that the Spider Foes affiliation box is the 10th per the website, and Electra, Sandman, Shocker, and Vulture are the 17th per the.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, feces. Oh well. I'll do my best to make that happen. But I'll cross that bridge later.
There's a real good chance I play some of these models in the event on the 18th if I'm able to make it.
Well, hopefully you are. All right. Well, let's talk about what we've done recently. So, yesterday, that would be the 13th of April, we played in a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. There were a group of folks who came up from Princeton to participate, and Steven drove down to participate as well. So we had an 8-person turnout, which is pretty solid for one of our tournaments. That's a little bit better than normal. It was a good time. The folks from Princeton, it was Tony, JP, and there was another person named Brandon. And they were all really fun to play with, and
Much
they were
cooler,
good.
Brandon.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but I mean, we were all thinking it. Yeah, but they were all real good. I liked playing with all of them. I guess I only played against Tony, but the rest of them seemed like they were pretty good guys. Oh, and Borka showed up to play as well. So it was a good tournament. We did 3 rounds. Let's go through what our rounds were. My first game was against Tony, one of the people who came up from Princeton. And Tony didn't have a whole lot of experience with the game, so we played kind of I don't want to say a friendlier match because I was trying to win, but he put up quite the fight. In fact, this game came down to a tiebreaker because we ran out of clock time, and it was 16-16 victory points wise, and I won the game because I had KO'd more of his list than he had KO'd of mine. And that was really a knife's edge because I had some pretty wounded models. The game was, oh boy, it was Paranoia Pummels Populous was the extract, and Mutant Madmen was the secure, and we played at 18 points. And I played Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Black Cat, Rhino, and Lizard. That's a pretty solid 18 points right there. And he played his, oh boy, what did he was playing a, Oh my goodness, I'm completely blanking
Doctor
on what.
Strange Defenders.
That's correct. He was playing Doctor Strange Defenders. You're right. He was Doctor Strange plus Iron Fist and a few other defenders. I don't remember his full list, but it was a pretty good matchup. He played very well for being as inexperienced in the game as he was, and I enjoyed the game quite a bit. And that's all that I can remember. All right, let's move on to somebody else. Brad, how was your first round?
I played against JP. Um, if you thought Tony was inexperienced, this was JP's third game of MCB ever. He was playing Steve Rogers Avengers. I was playing X Force. Uh, we played Struggle for the Cube and Deadly Meteors at 17 Threat, and this was my closest game of the day. Uh, the score ended up 18-13. Um, he played very well. I played uh, Colossus, Psylocke, Bishop, and Cable. He played Cap 1, Taskmaster, Iron Man 1. Those are all his Avengers. And then he splashed in Omega Red and I wasn't even adding points, so I don't even remember how many points this character was. Oh, it was Doc Ock 1. That's who it was. Doc Ock did
That's
pretty
right.
well. There was a very funny play that JP made because he didn't ask me anything before making the play. He moved Omega Red off of a point. It was a pay to flip, and he owned it already, but he moved off of it to get three guys into his poison bubble for the end of activation. And Bishop was already poisoned, and the other two people in the bubble were Cable, who's immune, and Bishop. No, sorry. Colossus was already poisoned, and Bishop and Cable were the other two, and they're both immune. So he moved off the point for no reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
you hate to see it.
And I probably ended up flipping that point because there wasn't an enemy there. But it was very back and forth game. Uh, it goes in waves like a Marvel game. Like I beat up his guys, and then he beat up my guys, and then I beat up his guys, and that's just how it went.
All right.
I'm done. You can move
Okay.
on.
All right. Thank you, Brad. I was about to ask Brandon. Brandon sat this tournament out because he would have been a ninth person in the tournament, and he graciously did not want the people who came up and traveled so far to get buys. So thank you, Brandon, for sitting out the tournament. He and I played some games of Star Wars Unlimited in between rounds. All right, Steven, how was your
Yeah,
first round?
it was great. I faced off against Brandon Akers. He is also from the Princeton, uh, West Virginia area, and he brought a Mystique Brotherhood. We were playing on Montesi and Infinity Formula at Threat 17. I ended up taking this game 17-13, and I brought my new tech into it, and it worked pretty good.
Okay, I guess let's. Are you gonna go over your new tech right now, or do you want to wait until the next round
We'll
where
wait till your
you and
game.
I can
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that was good.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no, but Brandon, we walked through a lot of his characters because he wasn't familiar with everything on their cards, so it was more of a slower paced game. It's his third game. He's getting to know it, so I mean, it wasn't all out. you know, go all the way, but don't. It's a game, right? I mean, you have wins, you have losses. So, but it, as for the as for the experience, I think it was very good for both of us. It slowed me down a little bit, and got me back into that mode of like what I like to do is teach the game to new people. So, but it
Yeah.
was very very good for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to round 2. My round 2 opponent was Steven. So let's talk about this game. This game was the exact same game as my first. It was Paranoia Pummels Populace and Mutant Madmen as the 2 crises. And I played the exact same list. I played Doc Ock, Green Goblin. I played Lizard, Rhino, and Black Cat. Now, Steven, tell everyone what you played.
I played Captain America: First Avenger, the new Captain America from the new core box, Cable, Thor, and Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was a little bit wider, but he had 2 5s, and his 2 5s were Cable and Thor. And holy guacamole, this was a nasty experience on my part. Round 1, he dazed both. Who were the 2? Was it Rhino and
L-
Black Cat?
Lizard and Black
It was
Cat.
Lizard and Black Cat. Yeah, he dazed both of them, and not even didn't have trouble doing it. Like I think that it was one attack from Cable that did it. And no, it was
Yeah,
2 because you
it was
you
two.
just you slid up and then
Yeah, I
y-
used Avengers Assembled to get in range, shot Lizard, incinerated him, shot him again, and then threw something at him, and then had enough power to uh, do a body slide back while picking up the objective.
yeah, it was rough. I want to clarify something. He did incinerate me, and I did immediately shake the incinerate. The
Correct. Yeah.
incinerate was not relevant, but
hmm
it was
Except for
not important.
damage. Right.
Yeah, true, true. It was not important either. It didn't matter because he still got me, no question.
I think
Uh,
Black Cat was the one you were really kind of like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, I don't believe I'm doing this.
yeah. Thor just rolled up and hit her once and dazed her, which
No,
was just.
I did it because I got the throw off. Remember?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you hit her and did all but 1 damage,
hmm
and then you threw her into a car, and because she was holding an objective and I really needed to get up on objectives, I used my brace on that on her being thrown into a car. And then he
hmm
threw a building at her.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, it did not go well. This game essentially then proceeded to not go well for me at all. At all. I think I dazed Thor, and I put
yes.
a little bit of damage onto Cable, but nothing serious. And that's
hmm
all that I did. And
Yeah.
he was basically dominating me the entire game. Uh, I should have played maybe something that can hang a little bit better in the attrition game than what I brought. Uh, I probably shouldn't have tried to just out scenario, which was kind of my thought process, but I was
Yeah.
just never gonna survive with
I have,
Cable and Thor on the table.
and I had Black Panther picking on Doc Ock too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
ooh,
It
I put
was
into your own trap.
yeah, I know. I got pushed by Black Panther into my own sinister traps, which you always hate to see as a Spider Foes player.
I love to see
Yeah,
it.
but the secret tech is that Cable and Thor have 2 power turn, and they can modify to get their wilds, to get the incinerate, and to get the throw, and it's brutal. It really is.
Yeah, it's rough. But that was the game. The game ended, I believe it was 16-10. I think you
Correct.
won round 3 at
Yeah,
exactly 16.
yeah, because you went off and played with played Star Wars cards with Brandon. So
He played with
That's right.
me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our round 2. Brad, what was your round 2 like?
I played Borka. Um, I won the roll, so we played my secure deadly meteors. And his extracts, there was one I didn't want to play. And so I drew it, research station.
Oh,
He picked 17. And I had figured out the first round that 17 is actually kind of awkward for me playing what I want to play. Let's say I have to play Cable, of course. And my options are to play 3/4s, and that's fine, but then I can't play Hulk. And if I play Hulk, I either have to play um, one of the X Force 4s and Honey Badger, or two of the X Force 3s. And in this game, I chose to go with Psylocke and Honey Badger, and that was a mistake. I really needed Honey Badgers. I really need Honey Badger to be able to score points in this game.
yeah. You only had 3 people who could score points.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Borka was playing. He's dipping his toe into Spider Foes, which is frustrating for me because he's doing it better than me already. But that's to be expected.
He has special tech that you don't have for scenarios where he thinks Spider Foes aren't going to do very well. And that's what he took in this
playing
game.
Kingpin.
Yeah, he took Kingpin.
Yeah.
Now, it is
to be fair, he only played Spider Foes one game this tournament.
Oh, he played Kingpin the other two.
Yeah.
It was a pay to flip, but it had research station. So he thought that it was worth it. It was. It was absolutely worth it. He also played Lizard, Doc Ock 1, and Green Goblin. I think that's his whole list.
That is only 14 points, so he has to have another
3.
Another 3 in there.
He had Black Cat. Did you say Black Cat?
There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
He did?
Black Cat and Lizard were over in that far point. The researcher.
No, he didn't. He had Bullseye.
Ah, that's right.
He must have had 4-point Doc Ock and Bullseye.
He must have been 4-point Doc Ock.
Okay. He did have 4-point Doc Ock.
Yeah, that's what it
sense.
was. Okay. So
and that it's Bullseye means that it is Criminal Syndicate affiliated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he the first round Cable failed to flip his meteor, and he clearly won the researcher, and he got the 2 flip points, so he went up 4-0. Round 2, he managed to flip all 3 of the meteors and take the researcher, going up 9 to my 0.
Oh no.
Hulk was not doing anything these 2 turns. Like, I just flubbed all my rolls. The third round, Honey Badger popped off, Cable did something, Hulk still did nothing, and Psylocke did some good stuff, I think. And I managed to get 1 point finally to his 4. So he's 13 to my 1.
Oh man.
That doesn't sound right, but I think it is. It must be. And then the next round, I believe, with Hulk's help, and the researcher was like way on my left, almost to the edge of the board at this point, from him scoring it and moving it over. Hulk ends up running over there and throwing Lizard off the point to get those 2 points. And at this point, everyone else is flipped on his side, and he has lost Doc Ock and Goblin. And so this round, I believe I score 5 to his 0.
Oh, okay. So this was
Yeah.
a bounce back round.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. But I still have to get. Or maybe he scored 1. Yeah, he scored 1 to go to 14. And I scored 4, which takes me up to 5. And so I have to prevent him from getting 2 points. And I like my odds because he doesn't have very much. But at this point, he kills Cable, I think. And maybe Psylocke. Or Psylocke went first and couldn't do anything. And he had all 3 of the meteors. And so he ends up scoring 2, and I end up scoring 3. And the game ends 16-8. So, like, he was pretty in control of the scenario the entire game.
Yeah.
When in the first 3 rounds, I scored 1 point. That's and at
Yeah,
best,
that's rough.
At
That's so
best, I
bad.
could have scored 2 if Cable had flipped his point the first turn. I would have scored 1 extra point. Like, I just couldn't do anything.
Nothing was happening. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's the problem of playing against Kingpin.
It is.
He's just and that was a pretty low scoring match. Like Research Station and Meteors.
Well, that should have favored me.
Yeah, you're right.
And we
Yeah,
got
you're
to
right.
play we got to play more turns than if it was not a low scoring. Like, if it was the scenarios Brandon likes to play, I would have scored no points for the entire
Yeah.
game.
It's funner that way.
That's
Well,
it for that game.
That was round 2. Steven, do you want to talk about your round 3? Oh wait,
Sure.
you should wait till we should wait because those paying attention will
Something
now know that
happened.
yeah, Steven is 2-0 and Borka is 2-0, and that's the top table. So let's talk about my round 3, which was against Brad. And this was a rough match for me. So I played Spider Foes, and we were playing at 17 points.
Which I will
and
remind
was
the listeners was awkward for me.
right. It's not where he wants to be exactly. I was playing not quite the same list. I don't even fully. I know. I remember what I was playing. I was playing Doc Ock, Hulk, Lizard, and another person.
Rhino.
Who I'm a 4-pointer.
Rhino.
Yeah. Yep. And Brad, what were you playing?
So I went with the Cable Hulk and 2 3s option this time. So I took X-23 and Domino.
Yeah. This game went terribly for me. I have a Hulk problem. One, I don't have a whole lot of experience playing Hulk myself, and Hulk being my answer to Hulk is not a good answer. Like I want something that works a little bit better than that. I have my theories, but we'll cross that bridge once I test them out for future games. But in this game, my Hulk basically did nothing, while Cable killed my Hulk and his Hulk killed my team.
Okay, that's not quite accurate.
It's not quite accurate.
After the cubes did 3 damage to Cable, Hulk finished him off. Today's
yes, that's true.
And Cable didn't kill Hulk alone. I think Domino did 3 of that damage, and Cable did the rest.
But Cable did 17 of it.
Yeah. X-23 dazed Doc Ock from full, and it was an activation. I don't remember if it was one attack or if it took both. But
I think it was both. I think it took you both attacks.
And then Hulk killed Doc Ock after that with 1 attack. and throwing
Yeah.
him into lizard.
Yeah.
I got the sword base once, so I got to push Rhino really far away to make him pretty irrelevant because there's no one for him
Yeah,
to
that hurt.
attack. And Fred still did a pretty good activation with him. It just,
Yeah, I'll say this. I do know Rhino. I
yeah,
know Rhino pretty well. I
you
can get
did
him.
you did pretty good with Rhino, even though he was not near anybody.
Yeah. But this game. All right. So here's the status of the board. I think that on the end of round 3, Brad had 15 points and I had 11. Or was that at the end of round 2?
It couldn't have been
I
after
don't
round
fully.
2.
It couldn't have been 2. It couldn't
Yeah.
have been 2. It was at the end of 3. Brad had 15 points and I had 11. And at the end of round 4, I had 11 points and Brad had 24.
I did
So
I did score the entire field the last turn.
he scored the field, and I scored literally nothing because everyone I had was KO'd or dazed. So, yeah, that did not go well for me. But I need to come up with. I have no good answer to 1, Cable, and 2, Hulk. I really don't. I need to come up with something that works better. I need to change out what I'm playing a little bit because I'm running into them too often to not have a solution.
After this tournament, I have made one change to my list to make 17 feel better.
What is the change that you made?
Why would I tell you my new tech? Okay, here it is.
Okay,
I
never
took
mind.
out Wolverine and I put in
Madness.
Logan.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So now if I play 3 4s, it can be Psylocke, Bishop, and Logan, which is really good.
Pretty baller, pretty baller. Yeah, I would say very good. Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, that was our round 3. Steven, why don't you talk about your round 3?
Yep. Well, I was facing off against Borka, who was 2-0 at this point, and I lost priority. In fact, I lost priority in all my games. So he decided that he was going to go with his secures, and of course, all of those are good for criminals, and so it was going to be an uphill battle. We pulled Bright Spark and Montesti formula, and he countered with Kingpin, Green Goblin, Little Doc Ock, the 3-threat version, um, Black Cat, and Rhino. And I went with Cap, First Avenger, Thor, Cable, and Black Panther again at 18. That's my 18 team. Another thing about this, about the tournament, is that I threw 7 pieces of terrain in the first game, 6 pieces of terrain, if you remember correctly, Fred, in the second game, and 6 pieces again in this third game. So Cable and Thor throw, and they throw often. So.
Yes, they do.
So he made a really, really good play in the first round. He double moved his Black Cat for his last second to last activation to come up, because I had Steve and Cable on the back point. Cable had done a lot of damage into Rhino, and got him down to 1. Didn't quite take him out. Thor didn't really do what he needed to do that turn, so left me with a option to go with Black Panther to either try to take out Rhino, and then when he moved Black Cat to my back point, I was like, oh darn.
Yeah.
I'm not going to score any points on that. So it was a darned if I do, darned if I don't. So to keep Black Panther a little bit safer, I went over and I attacked Black Cat with Panther, not doing any damage. I just needed to push her off the point. Basically, what that came down to. So he went up, and then he was up the whole entire game. But I was just nipping at his heels because Criminal Syndicate leadership's really, really good.
Yeah.
But I then got into Rhino with Thor, and took Rhino out, threw Rhino into Goblin. Goblin dazes, comes back and takes out Black Panther. Black Panther flips, but nobody else had damage on them the whole entire game. That was it. And Goblin and Rhino obviously went down very, very quick. Black Cat was a little bit of thorn on the side, and through a series of lucky events, things just went my way. So I wouldn't say it's any great skill on my part. Also, to note in the tournament, Steve did his spender attack once, and it was in this last game, and he got into Black Cat and dazed her with it, and then I got the trigger naturally because you can't reroll on Black Cat or modified dice, and Doc Ock was right there behind me within range 3, so I got another finisher in on him and dazed him in the same round. So, and then his Kingpin was still healthy, holding a point, holding an objective, but that kind of left me to have free reign of the board. And he tried a really good play at the end with Black Cat, stealing an objective off of Thor and getting onto a point. But then Thor went into her, got the throw off naturally with his hammer. He had staggered Thor, so I did my charge, and so he does the throw, throws her into a barricade, and then has enough power to throw a size 3 piece of terrain at her and daze her out, and then pick up the extract from her to score out the game. Going into this last round, he was up 15-14, and it scored out to 17 for him and 19 for me. So really, really tough game because criminals are really, really tough on those places where you just get to stand with healthy people. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Steven.
thank you. Yeah, I just knew I had to go into his big pieces first, get them off the board, and then try to whittle it down from there.
Yeah, use the attrition to your benefit.
Oh my god, that's that with Cable and Thor under Steve. It's so much attrition. It's not even funny.
It's bananas. Yeah. I think Borka had a realization that I've had in the past, which is if you're playing Spider Foes and you bring Kingpin, you almost always want to have his leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of crossover there, so it's pretty easy to do. But yeah. That's kind of why I don't want to play Kingpin in my list, because I'm worried I would always be taking his leadership.
I can fix this problem. You just don't play Spider Foes. You just play Kingpin.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I want to play Spider Foes. But yeah,
Red wants to roll dice.
Yeah, I want to lose games. I want to lose and not win. But yeah, it was a good tournament. We had a lot of fun, and I really appreciate the folks from Princeton driving up and participating. I also had a lot of fun playing Star Wars Unlimited against Brandon. I think we got like 10 games in.
I think we played more than that, to be honest.
I think you're right. It was quite a few.
That second round and after your match with Brad, I think we probably played this after you and Steven played, we probably played over 10 games that in between that round.
Yeah.
Because they went to time all 3 rounds.
Our game was lightning quick.
All of my games were very fast.
I was still helping out, and Fred was like, "Do you want to play Unlimited?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" You did go to time.
Yeah, that's true. All my games, except for my first, were real fast. But yeah, we had fun, and I guess we've been talking a lot. Brandon, do you want to talk some about any games that you've played recently? Did you say no, or I didn't? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said no. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I
Well.
did play some games, but I don't want to talk. There's nothing that needs to be added.
Okay. All right.
Fred,
Well, let's move
Fred,
on.
hold on.
Yes.
Just
Oh.
real
Okay.
quick,
Holding
did
on.
we play a gymnastics game on Thursday?
We did, and this was you and I played,
Yeah,
and I think it was a pretty similar lists. Uh, I actually that's wrong because you played different stuff,
I played
but I
X-Men.
was playing. Yeah, I played Spider Foes with Green Goblin holding Reality Gem, and this game was the dice were crazy in my favor. It was ridiculous. Like I was rolling absolutely rocks, and Brad could not hit the broadside of a barn. And my only real memory of the game was that I won pretty handily, uh, because of the dice.
Yeah.
I
Well,
actually don't remember much about the game.
I just wanted to make sure we talked about gymnastics because we are still playing that league. I need to get prizes together for people. Somebody hasn't played any gymnastics games and won't get any prizes.
I was banned from playing what I wanted to play.
I said play something fun.
I did. That is fun. I was
No,
told
that's
that my
not
fun is not what everybody else has fun with, apparently.
that is not fun. Okay, now we can move on, Fred.
Just so the listeners out there know what we're talking about, Brandon wants to play Kingpin with the Mind Stone.
Free Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Great. It's fucking magical. I don't know what you guys want from me. Probably gonna give, and Shadowland Daredevil gets the reality gem. Listen, it's just a good time.
Ugh. Yeah. There's a reason why. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on. So there are times in this podcast in the past where we've given grades to people without knowing the full context in the meta, and or sometimes there have been erratas where characters have changed, like in this one. And when that happens, we do a recalibration matrix now, where we change our grade on characters we've done already. Today we're going to be talking about Thor, who has been errated since we last did him, and who I believe that we gave just a straight B to. And judging by how badly he touched me in the tournament, just recently, I feel like he needs to be readdressed. So let's pull up Thor, Prince of Asgard. Uh, he's the 5-point leader of the Asgardians. Are there any other? I don't think there are any other Asgardian leaders right now,
Not
correct?
yet.
Not yet. So, if you're playing Asgard, you've played Thor, Prince of Asgard. And I will say this, the rework on him has made him very good. He was very good to begin with. Hey Steven, do you
Yes.
want to tell the folks at home what the changes were to
Yeah,
Thor in the errata?
yeah, sure. So, starting off, uh, his original defenses were 4 physical, 4 energy, and 3 mystic. They are now fours across the board, so he has a little bit more mystic defense. Always nice to see. Originally, his healthy side only had 6 health. It now has 7, and his injured side always had 8. So now he's a 15 health character. Also, he gained some important immunities. He is immune to shock, and he is immune to stun, and also his spender,
Which is
God,
called God of Thunder.
God of Thunder, right? His area attack went from a cost of 6 to a cost of 4, and also for each character that it hits, it will automatically give them the shock condition.
Yeah. They made him so much. I think that the fact that he was a 5-point model with only 6 health on his front side was that was he should have had 7. Like that was way too low. Uh, he became so much better. all of those changes were not huge changes, but the gestalt of all of them together have turned him into a monster I'm surprised I don't see more often on the table. He has a ton of throws. Like he has a wild throw on his builder, which means that under cap 3, he almost always throws the model and it's a size 4 or less throw short.
Just
That's
like
so
Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, it's so good. And then he also has a superpower throw, the strongest Avenger, where he can throw an enemy character or a terrain feature size 4 medium. That's
Mm-hmm.
so good. Like everything on this card is excellent.
And he has a
Uh,
pseudo charge also,
yes, he has 4 Asgard, which is like a pseudo charge.
which applies stagger if he does damage.
Yeah. I mean, he's crazy good. Um Brandon, what do you have any thoughts that you want to add about Thor?
I played Thor a lot right after he got the buff came out. I really enjoyed him. Um, I think Asgard's going to be really, really good, especially well, depending on the models that come out, but I think they have potential to be a very strong affiliation kind of going forward. Thor's never really disappointing when he's on the table. Um, they also have a huge advantage in their affiliation with him and like Beta Ray Bill, Angela, and some others where they can play pay to flips better than about anybody, which can put a lot of people into weird spots. They have good power economy. They've got some really good tech on their list. So I think they're in a really good spot. I think they're just in like an odd spot of just like waiting. I think there could be a really big emergence of Asgardians, and Thor is probably going to be leading that charge. But he does feel like a 5 threat now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey Brad, do you have anything that you want to say in regards to the Prince of Asgard here?
Um, he still really relies on dice. I mean, but that's most characters in the game. That's
I,
it.
I kind of you're correct in Asgard, but under cap 3, I mean, there is a dice aspect to it, but he can much more reliably get that triggered throw on his builder, and that is excellent to be able to get to.
I think the biggest, best upgrade on his card is his immunity to stun.
Yeah,
Is
just
that
make
that's how you stopped him before.
okay. Yeah, you stunned him.
Mm-hmm. And then even the shock is nice too because he's got a 6 dice builder, um, but making a 5 dice felt really really bad. So being immune to shock is also it everything on him just goes so well now. Um, but I agree with Brad. In Asgard, he's he's not as consistent as he is in Avengers under Captain America: First Avenger.
Yeah.
Same thing with Cable. So
Okay. Well, we need to give him a recalibrated letter grade. I'll go first. I think I gave him a B when we discussed him previously. I'm going to go ahead and bump him a letter. I'm going to give him an A. That's, I mean, that's just where I am. I'm starting it off way higher probably than everyone else. So Brandon, why don't you give him a recalibrated rating?
Trying to see what I graded him at, or if I was a part of that episode.
Can you? I don't even know. Can you see what you gave him?
Yeah, someone did a lot of work and sent in all the things in our chat.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Stephen. By the
I know
way.
what you
Yeah,
gave him, Brandon, if you want to know.
what I give him.
You gave him an A minus.
Oh,
You
there
were
it
the
is.
highest grade.
Yeah, it was. I was ready for the errata. I'm gonna stick with that score. Even though
Okay.
I think he got a lot better, but I believe in the oh god, what 80? He was episode 17, and we're in the hundreds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in almost 2 years since, I believe. I think he was fine at the time. I think the big thing that happened is I think the game has changed and the models have gotten better, and I think he has equally gotten better to fit into that new mold of models. So I'm gonna stick with my A minus.
Okay. Steven, what would you like to give recalibrated Thor?
I'm gonna get on the Brandon train and say A minus. I know I played him in all my games for this tournament. I loved everything that he did. Um, it's just sad that he's better as a lead, as a uh, player under a different leader than in his own affiliation.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and Brad, what would you like to give Thor for a recalibration?
I originally gave him a B. He is better. B plus.
Okay, and I think that means that we shake out to an average of an A minus. So, well done, Thor. You went up a tiny bit.
Play more Thor.
Yeah, play more Thor. All right, so that was our recalibration matrix. Brad, do you have a game for us to play?
I do. So Brandon's here, so we can do this game as I originally intended. So I'm going to ask Fred a trivia question. If he gets it right, he gets 4 points. Then I'm going to give Fred a hint. If he gets it right after the hint, he gets 3 points. If he can't get it right after those two, Brandon can take a shot to earn the team 2 points. And if he doesn't get it right, Steven can take a shot for 1 point. To win, your team needs 7 points.
Oh boy.
Oh, so I'm on a team now?
Yeah, you were on a team
We're
last
all
time.
on the team.
You guys are all on a team, and you rely mostly on Fred. It's perfect.
It's a
Oh
worst
my
case scenario
goodness.
for everybody.
Okay,
All right.
are we ready to play? We understand the points and
Yeah.
how to win.
Yeah.
Okay. This character
Fred, you
was
got this, buddy.
once a Spawn character, which for Fred who doesn't know, that means that this character was in a different company. Spawn is an Image character, and we play a Marvel game. But because of a
Okay.
because of a legal battle, they are now a Marvel character.
Huh. Huh.
Is that the whole question?
Yeah, that's the trivia.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh
Oh boy.
god.
Well, I'm not.
Okay,
Well, is
Fred.
it? I've got a question.
Fred
Oh,
gets a
sorry.
guess, then
Go
Fred
ahead.
gets a hint and another guess before either of you chime in. Okay, Brandon, you
No,
weren't here last
that's
time.
yeah. I already know the answer. It's fine.
Okay,
Well,
Fred, go ahead.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess. Who's the Mephistopheles?
What?
That's my guess.
It
Listen,
what
it's in the Spawn universe.
Fred, I will remind you that the answer to every question is a character we have in Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Oh, and we will soon.
Oh, you're talking about Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and not the ancient Greek
Okay.
Mephistopheles.
Okay. If you met Mephisto, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's who I meant.
It does
Okay.
make a lot more sense, and I'm not as confused as I was 20 seconds ago.
That is incorrect.
I said the full name. My mistake. I'm sorry.
That is incorrect, Fred. Are you ready for your hint?
Okay. Yes. What is my
Okay.
hint?
Your hint is despite being the sister of a major Marvel character that has been around since 1962, she doesn't enter Marvel Comics until 2013.
What? Okay. Sister of a major character. In 2013.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I don't expect the dates to help you. It was more of the sister of a major Marvel character, Fred.
I'm not gonna be able to get this one. I'm not gonna be able to get this one. I'm just gonna guess. Who's a sister of anybody? Um, I'm just gonna guess Gwenpool.
That is
Just a guess.
that is incorrect.
Okay.
So
Now we kick it over to Brandon.
yeah, Brandon, you have a
Fred.
chance to answer this question and get the team 2 points.
Fred, if the hint would have been I named this character not even 3 minutes ago, would that have given you a better odds to answer it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the answer's no.
Brad, did I name this character
Yeah,
roughly
uh-huh.
4 minutes ago? It's
Yeah.
Angela. Yeah.
Angela. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was the only girl, so after your hint, it would have been even a better hint because I named 3 Asgardians and only one of them was female. Depending on how you want to determine Beta Ray Bill's genetic species.
To be fair, when you were saying those names, Brad was also talking, and I was having trouble hearing anybody talk. So,
was Brad talking?
I don't think Brad was.
Well, I didn't hear you, Brandon.
That was when it's when we were talking about Thor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear you.
I did not give you any hints because I weirdly knew the answer pretty immediately because when Angela came out, one of our former podcast mates is obsessed with every new character that gets released, and we talked about it pretty frequently about how she was an Image. If I remember right, she was originally an Image, obviously, and the artist just got pissed off and like gave the rights to Marvel just so
The
Todd
writer.
McFarlane wouldn't have it.
Yeah, the writer. Neil Gaiman, which is a name Fred might actually know.
Basically said, fuck you, Todd McFarlane, I'm giving this character to Marvel, so you can't have her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I did not know any of that.
So 2 points. You guys just need 3 more points to win, and I'm realizing 7 was probably too low.
Wait, we need 5 points to win.
No, 7.
No, what I mean is
7 minus 2 is 5.
Oh, 5 points to win. Yeah, still too easy. Yeah. All right, Fred, you ready for the next trivia question?
Well, the problem is, if there's only 3 questions.
There are only 3 questions.
That means Fred has to get one right, which means this is not easy.
Yeah.
Right. I think that 7 is correct.
Okay, Fred. Deadpool is the most famous character in the Marvel Universe to break the 4th wall, but not the first. Name this character.
Oh, God.
Is it She-Hulk?
Are you sure you want to go with She-Hulk?
Don't listen to him, Fred. Stick with your guns here.
Go with She-Hulk.
Okay, that is correct.
Okay.
I was not letting Brad talk you out of
that. I knew that. I knew that She-Hulk breaks the 4th wall.
Good job, Fred. It's because you watched the TV show.
That is correct. I did watch the TV show.
Did you know that she was a member of the Fantastic Four?
I believe that came up on the podcast. So
it
yes,
did.
I did know
that. It did.
Was that going to be your hint?
Yes, that was the hint. Okay.
I don't think if he would have got to the hint, he would have got the answer.
You're correct.
Okay.
Like, if I didn't know immediately, I would not have gotten it from the hint.
The hints are always helpful. That's fine. Okay, question number 3. You ready, Fred?
Yes.
Okay. Just a small content warning here. If you don't want to hear something weird that could never happen in real life, but is a little rapey, skip ahead a couple minutes. This character was once mind controlled into sleeping with her future son, who was originally conceived by another woman outside of time.
Oh, God.
So this guy mind controlled her into sleeping with him so that she could give birth to him, but she's not his original mother.
Oh, this is some crazy X-Men BS crap. um, I I have no idea. I have no clue. So wait, am I doing the victim here or
Yes,
the
the
perpetrator?
victim.
The victim.
The
Okay.
victim.
Um, is it Jean Grey?
No. Your hint.
Okay.
This character once lost her memory and her powers to a supervillain, but still went on adventures and fought villains, even without any powers or memories.
Huh.
What was the original question? Because I was not paying attention, and now I've realized that I'm actually like the next in line to
Yeah,
potentially have to
this
answer this.
character was mind controlled by a man who got her pregnant with himself.
Okay.
Is it? And she lost her memories and lost her powers and continued to have adventures.
Yes.
What is the mother's name from Back to the Future? I forget what her name is, but that is going to be my guess because I have no idea.
Well, that, to shock to no one, is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Brandon, do you have a guess about who this is?
Uh, I really don't have much of an idea here. Um, mind controlled. I'm trying to think of characters who I think were mind controlled.
That's everybody. That doesn't narrow it down to anyone.
I know. Well, I'm trying to think of females that were possibly mind controlled.
That, once again, that's
Uh,
everyone.
I know. Because my original instinct was like Jessica Jones, but
The
I don't
answers
believe
are
she's.
characters that are in Marvel
I
Crisis
know.
Protocol.
I know. That's why I wasn't. That's why I immediately had to abandon my ship there. Um, fuck, dude. I don't know. For people who. So I'm torn. I'm gonna go. Ah, I'm gonna either guess Mystique or Spider Woman. I'm gonna go Spider Woman.
That is incorrect. Steven, do you know who this is for 1 point?
Oh my gosh.
This would
No.
this would win the game right here, Steven.
Oh my gosh. It all happens on me. And the characters in the game.
Yes.
Well, I'm pulling up Cerebro to look at the list.
Oh no.
I'll allow it. As long as you're
I hope
not
so, because I also had Cerebro open.
Yeah, as long as
Oh,
you're
you
not
did?
looking up the answer to this. And I tried to make it kind of vague enough that you couldn't.
That would be very hard to Google.
Yeah.
That's gonna be next to impossible to Google.
Oh boy. Let's see here. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think Brandon was saying it's either Mystique or Spider Woman.
Ooh, that
So
was
if
just
it
those were
wasn't
just two
Spider Woman,
characters I know that have been like mind controlled, like off the top of my head. Not that those were like I
I'll
don't
go
think.
with the other Brandon answer in Mystique.
Oh god.
Mystique is incorrect. Mystique and Spider Woman both have had kids. So
Yeah, I knew they
those
had
were
kids, and I know that I didn't know. I couldn't remember if Mystique had been mind controlled. I know Spider Woman has.
yeah. Not to make
Uh,
her kid though. And Mystique
yeah.
made her kids all on her own as well. So the guy in this scenario is
hold on. Before we move on, isn't it a fact that Mystique's kids have Mystique as the father?
one.
Oh, okay.
Only Nightcrawler has Mystique as a
Okay.
father.
Okay.
Graydon Creed, her child with Sabretooth, she was the mother.
She had a kid with Sabretooth.
She
Mystique can do
did.
better.
And the kid was human and hates mutants.
Oh boy.
Is
Okay.
it Rogue?
No, it's not Rogue. Rogue is involved in this story. So, you guys know who Kang is from the MCU, right?
Yes.
Kang's
And who was
future.
before the MCU, for the record.
Okay, that's fine. Kang's future self, who is more benevolent but still not a great guy, is named Immortus. Immortus got lonely in Limbo. This is not the Limbo that Magic was raised in. This is a different Limbo outside of time. And so he kidnapped a woman from the time stream and basically mind controlled her into loving him, and they had a child named Marcus. Then someone killed Kang, and so Mortis ceased to exist. And so Marcus was
Good for
left
them.
alone, and he didn't want to be alone outside the time stream. So he pulled Carol Danvers out of the time stream to do the
Carol
same
Danvers.
thing that his father did to his mother and impregnated her with himself. And so she gave birth to him. So it's Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Carol Danvers.
Is the answer. So
That's
I would have
wild. I've
never
never heard
guessed
this
Carol
story.
Danvers.
the
I would have never
hint,
guessed it.
the hint that she lost her memory and her powers to a supervillain. That supervillain was Rogue.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you know why Brad knows this answer so well?
Because it has to do with Rogue.
No, because he's the only one that has ever read Carol Danvers comics.
That happened.
Because nobody
All of
nobody
this.
reads them.
All of this happened in Avengers. Everything in the
Nobody.
original question and the hint happened in an Avengers comic. I have read a bunch of Carol Danvers comics, but for the record, this did not happen in Carol Danvers comic. Now, Fred, not all is lost, because I have a bonus question for you. It is worth 1 point, and only you can answer it. And
Right.
if we get a score check here, you're at 6 points, and you just need 1 point to win. So if you can answer this last bonus question, you win it all. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Are
do
they connected?
what
Oh.
do these characters have in common?
Okay. All right. So we've got Angela, we've got She-Hulk, and we've got Carol Danvers. What do they all have in common? I'm drawing a huge blank. I don't know what they have in common here. Let me see. Is it
Brad, I might have to kick you next time I see you.
Don't help him. He can do this.
Can I? I have no. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. The
I think you have a lot more faith in him than the rest of the world.
yeah, you have way more faith in me. I'm not gonna get this correct, everyone. I'm not gonna get this correct. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that they are all. Is Angela ever been an Avenger? No.
Oh my God, Fred.
I know. I have no idea. I have no clue.
You're not going to
I
make
don't have
any
any
kind of
idea.
a guess, Fred.
Think
Is it
about
that
it
they were
just a
all?
little bit.
Is it that they were all in the Fantastic Four at one point?
That is incorrect. They are all A-Force members.
Oh, okay.
Brad,
Obviously.
he might have given you a pass if you said they were all females.
I
They
was
were all females.
I
That was
was
a correct answer.
I was not going to give him that one. I gave him mutants last week. There's no way I'm giving him females.
Yeah, that. I thought mutants was too vague. That one would be way too vague.
He even gave you the leader of A-Force.
He did.
And how many times have you played against Josh playing A-Force where he had Angela, She-Hulk, and Carol Danvers?
Yeah. Hey, I got it wrong. This is on me. We lost this week, everyone. So next week we'll do better, hopefully. Except it's going to be on me, so I won't. I will not do better. All right, Brad, you won this one.
I knew
So
that
I
third one was going to
guess,
be tricky.
yeah, that was a rough one.
I had like
Uh,
negative amounts of information on that one.
uh, I, I guess now the only thing that's left is to go over the person that we have to do today. Today we are going to be excuse me. Today we are going to be covering Gwenom, otherwise known as Gwen Stacy. Her defenses are 4 physical, 2 energy, and 3 mystic. She has 6 stamina on her front side and 7 stamina on her flipped side. She is a 4 threat model, size 2, with a movement speed of long, which is crazy. Her attack suite is she has her first attack is called Symbiote Spider Technique, which is a range 3, 5 dice attack. It is a builder. If this character has already attacked the target character this turn, this character may reroll any number of its attack dice for this attack. And if this character has advanced or been placed this turn, after this attack is resolved, it may advance long. All right, Brad, why don't you do her spender and her first superpower?
Okay, her spender is a physical attack, maximum Gwenom. It's range 3, 7 dice. It costs 3 power. And after this attack is resolved, this character removes 1 damage from itself for each damage dealt. And for a wild hit, she gets Rampage. After this attack is resolved, deal 1 damage to each other enemy character within range 3 of this character. Oh,
Okay, and
and
do that first superpower for me.
yeah. Active superpower Dark Rage. It costs 3, and it's a interactive terrain or enemy character of size 3 or less within 2, and throw it medium once per turn.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you finish off the card?
Reactive superpower, pick on someone your own size. It costs 2 power. After an attack targeting another allied character is resolved, this character may use the superpower if the attacker is within 3 of this character. This character may make an attack against it. This superpower can only be used once per turn. He has Spider Sense. When this character is defending its physical or energy attack or making a dodge roll, it can re-roll up to 2 of its defense or dodge dice, and then she has Wall Crawler.
Yeah. This character is crazy good. I think that I think she's incredible. She's a long mover. She has the maximum Gwenom where she can heal from damage dealt. It only costs her 3 power, so it's very similar to having the Venomized card. Uh, but
Just better.
it's just better because it also has a wild hit trigger for Rampage. Uh, and then she has a character throw or terrain piece of size 3 or less, which is most models in the game. And the pick on someone your own size is such a cool little. Like, you have to attack her, and you don't want to attack her because she has spider senses. I mean, I think she's excellent.
And it works similar to Venom, where if you attack someone else, she can pay to pick on someone your own size, and then maximum Gwenom them.
Yeah, and heal from the
Yeah.
hit. Okay, Steven, what are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts here on Gwenom?
I think she's going to make a splash initially, kind of like Squirrel Girl did, and how everybody was kind of high on her. But I think she'll just kind of fade out a little bit after that. So
Okay, tell me your thought process.
right now, the game is very much scenario based, and except for her long move to get her around, she's not doing a whole lot of uh, scenario work. Like Stealers are really big in the game right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to steal something off somebody, she's going to have to get them to 0 health. Um, and sometimes that can be hard to do. So, I don't. And she doesn't have any web line pulls or anything like that. So, that's scenario focused, which is what a lot of the web warriors want to do, is like her uh, Ghost Spider iteration pulls people off points, no matter what size they are, right?
Mhm.
Venom does the same thing with his symbiote tentacles. So it's she's good, but I don't know exactly if she has a full toolkit to fit into some affiliations.
I get what you're saying. I feel like what she is. So this is we don't know her affiliations yet, but she's gonna be a web warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost certain of it. Um, one of the things, like, I think that what she's supposed to be is to make the web warriors more brawly, more punchy. Like,
Yeah, but
because
they really don't want to do that though. That's not their game.
I mean, what she's making it so that they can do that, though. That's I think that, like,
Web
you're right.
Warriors
That's not what they want to do.
Web Warriors
But
already have two Brawley characters, three actually. So,
yeah, they've got Venom and Agent Venom,
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Well, now they have Gwenom too. All of those are four threats,
But
though.
I'm saying
That's
even you with Spider Foes is playing a scenario game or trying to, right?
yeah.
So,
Or
Listen, I
trying
don't
to.
disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree. I'm just saying I feel like she's trying to do a very different thing for the Web Warriors than what they're already doing. I also think that she's gonna get splashed in other factions. Like I really want to play her in Spider Foes, even though she's almost certainly not a Spider Foe. I think that she would be a lot of
I,
fun to play.
anyway, so that's my thought. I mean, it's still out, but I could be wrong. But that's what I initially see. She has a bunch of good stuff, but all the tools don't fit in all the factions. You know what I mean? It's not a bill. She's not a bill, is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay, that's fair. Brad, what are your thoughts here on Gwenom?
Gwenom is absolutely a bill. Here's my 15-point thesis. So, nah, she's not as good as Bill, but she's still really good. Like, you know who would really love to see this model? X Force. X Force would love to play her. Anyone
I also
who,
would love to play against her.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. They
they
just rip her apart,
Cable
but that's
just
all the
shoots her off the table.
symbiotes. Uh, any any team that is wanting to brawl is going to love this character. Also, maybe more to the point, people who want to brawl with spiders didn't have the tools before. Now they do. Like, if you just happen to love spiders and you don't want to play that scenario game, you don't have to anymore. This is the final tool you needed.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Let's also discuss her builder, which is an excellent builder. It's range 3, and if she's already attacked the target character this turn, Gwenom may reroll any number of its attack dice for this attack.
I
That's
Damn, I
such a
really ain't
powerful
even
effect.
allowed to talk anymore, Fred.
I
Listen,
really
I'll get to you.
I really wish that said round instead of turn.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right, but still,
That
it's
would
still
be
very good.
so much more fun if it said round.
She would be a lot better.
Fred, she gets really dangerous with Miles
Yeah, yeah.
because she gets to re-roll the skulls, right?
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. She does. She gets to reroll skulls if she's under Miles's leadership. I didn't
And
even think of
she's
that.
on a she's contesting or holding an
If
objective.
she's
Yeah.
contesting,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
She
Brandon,
it is
Brandon.
worth pointing out that
Oh,
she does not have a self place. So the only way she can trigger that third bullet is if she moves herself.
correct. We don't know what the cards are that are coming in her
Sure.
pack, but you're right. It's weird that it says place. Brandon, what are your thoughts here on Gwenom?
She's a hard mashup of the other symbiotes. They just took like the best parts of Spider Gwen, Venom, which isn't a symbiote, I understand, and then Venom and Carnage, and we're like, what are the best parts of these cards? And they're like, we'll just put them all on this card, which is a good thing. I think
Yeah.
this model's good. Spoiler, it's not going to be a spoiler because I actually might end up having to drop off early, but I think she's absolutely amazing in Midnight Suns because then you can trigger both things on um,
I
her builder every round but the first one.
There you go, everyone. Brandon has figured out why it says placed.
Yeah,
There it
I
is.
think she's absolutely bonkers in Midnight Suns because I think she does play attrition really well. Her builder is her gainer, her builder and her spender are both really really good. Um, I think she's gonna be a mainstay in Web Warriors because I mean she doesn't displace by pulling, but she can just throw people off of points. Um, and then if you try to fight her on a point, um, it's gonna be tough because you do enough damage and you don't daze her, and she gets to activate, then she can heal herself. Um, and then if you do your so it reads if this character is already targeted the character this turn of an attack, so you can spend her into builder. And if you place like off Midnight Suns or any other way, now you can move long if you need to get to a different point, or you can heal, and then you get all the rerolls on your 5 dice builder.
Yep.
Which most people aren't going to survive that. And then your builder, if you don't finish them, now you've probably got power. You probably have a throw. So I think she's going to be played in Web Warriors specifically. I am almost at a point where I think she probably takes over. She's probably the reason Venom's not going to be in a lot of rosters, which is really unfortunate because Venom is really good. But I think she just outclasses Venom, and I think it's going to be hard to bring Venom over her. Um, and I think she really rivals Agent Venom and what he can do. The biggest issue she's going to run into is the same thing Agent Venom runs into, and regular Venom is energy attacks are very prevalent in the game right now. Uh, there's a lot more of them than there used to be, and there might be times where she just gets blown off the table. Um, because even though she gets to reroll both her energy dice, if you roll a skull, now you're out that reroll, and you're probably not in the best of situations of survivability, at least. Like I said, X Force just obliterates her. Um, some other affiliations are going to have a really good time into her. Um, but
Aliens.
yeah, so it's going to be situational. I don't think she's going to be played everywhere like Bill and like Black Cat, but I do think you're going to see. I think initially you are going to see a lot of people splash her to see how she fits. I think she's a great attrition piece. I think she'll be kind of played a lot like Venom was when the game first came out. I think you'll see her a lot of places as long as they need splashes. So the affiliations that don't have a ton of models will probably really like her. I think she's almost an auto include in Midnight Suns. I think it'd be really hard not to. Spider Gwen was great in Midnight Suns. This model's just miles better. Um, So I think you have that going for you as well for that. So
Absolutely. I think that you're dead on. I didn't even think about her in Midnight Suns, and she does exactly what they want to do. She's a Midnight Suns character.
yeah, yeah, she's absolutely perfect under Blade.
Yep. All right. Well, does anyone have anything else they want to add about Gwenom before we move on? All right, let's give Gwenom a letter grade. So I'm pretty impressed. I think she's excellent. I'm worried she's a little too excellent. Uh, I'm gonna give her. Oh, I want to say. I'm gonna give her an A, a solid A. I'm tempted to say A plus, but I'm also regularly way too high all the time. Brandon, what are you going to give to Gwenom?
I'm at an A.
Okay. All right. Steven, where are you?
I'm at a conservative B plus.
Okay. And Brad.
I like an A minus.
Okay. So we're all up on her. Like this character is gonna be in a lot of lists, I
Yeah.
think. She's gonna be
Also,
real good.
13 health on 4 is above average, and the art on this card is fantastic. So
I agree. Yeah, she this is awesome.
Or it doesn't win you games, Brandon.
yeah, but it makes you cooler. If you can be cooler, you got this in the bag. She doesn't like survive, so I'm not gonna play her with Kingpin. So like I don't. I do really like her in Midnight Suns. When I get this box, which won't be right away, I will definitely be trying her out with Blade and Midnight Suns. I think there's a really good midline aggressive attrition team with them.
And if you
Yeah.
have her and Ghost Rider, who are you gonna attack?
Everything. Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
Who are you gonna attack? Like attack Ghost Rider,
to be
she
fair,
hits you. Attack her, Ghost Rider gets power to hit you harder later.
yeah, Ghost Rider also just eats her for breakfast, but that's also not really.
Well, yeah.
All
Listen,
right.
she didn't
Well,
have if she didn't have that 2 energy defense, she'd be way too good.
Yeah.
Ed, do you have any comic books that feature Gwenom?
Yeah, I thought I was only gonna have one recommendation, but it turns out they did 2 storylines with Gwenom. Uh, so the first one is Spider Gwen 25 through 29. These issues came out in like 2017, 2018. The story is called Gwenom. It's by Jason Latour and Robbi Rodriguez. And after well, I just want to remind people that Gwen Stacy is from a different universe than the main Marvel universe before I say this. After Matt Murdock hires the Rhino to kill Gwen Stacy's dad. Uh
Oh boy, what?
yeah, in
What?
in on Earth 65 where Gwen Stacy lives, Matt Murdock works for the Kingpin.
Okay, things are crazy.
Uh so Gwen
All right.
forms a bond with the Venom symbiote of her universe and embraces her darker side and goes out for revenge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that story's about.
So that's her backstory for how she took on the symbiote.
Yeah, it felt her rage at Matt Murdock and the Rhino, and strangely enough, the Rhino doesn't have a Rhino suit in her universe. He's
Huh.
just a
What
dude.
is he in her? He's
I
just a dude.
he's just a dude. He has the exact same powers. He just doesn't wear a Rhino suit.
He's just a guy who's big and runs at you and has a horn on his head.
No horn, but he's very strong and
Okay.
stuff. He's very strong
Okay.
and stuff. And then the second storyline is called the comic is called Spider Gwen versus Carnage. It's by Shannon McGuire and Flaviano, and Null has descended on Earth, and his powers being felt even in other realities. So back in Gwen Stacy's reality, Earth 65, Mary Jane, who is Gwen's bandmate, has the Carnage symbiote,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
and the tensions that they've had between each other as part of the band for years come to a boil in a big superhero fight
Huh.
with
Okay.
Gwenom versus Mary Jane Carnage.
That's is Mary Jane a serial killer in Earth
No,
60? What did you say 65? Okay.
65 because it kind of looks like a GS, which is Gwen Stacy's initials.
Ah, okay.
That's why I
Okay.
know it's 65. And that's
All
also
right.
why she is called Ghost Spider now, because it's the same initials. They're obsessed.
GS. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and so Gwenom versus Carnage.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I
Well,
remember what I was gonna
thank you.
say. Coming in this pack as an optional piece to put on Gwenom's base is a Carnageified guitar axe.
Oh, really?
Which is from Mary Jane Carnage.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Steven, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
Brandon had to bow out early. I actually
Uh-huh.
think Brandon already answered this question. I was
He
gonna ask.
did. He did.
Uh,
He absolutely
yeah,
did.
Brandon
Yeah.
already answered this question.
But I'm
Uh,
glad you're asking me a question because I want to insert something, if I may. I know we didn't discuss it before, but I'm sure we're going to be okay with it. So,
sure. Yeah, go for it.
we know that some of the listeners asked for battle reports. Is that correct, Brad? To do.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
All right. Well, I know that you guys don't quite do those anymore, but my friend Dave DeVito, he has a YouTube channel called Monster Dice Studio, and he's had me on the channel and quite a few of our locals doing battle reports. Now, they aren't the most competitive, but they just feature different characters on different. I think he does it bi weekly for MCP because he also does Warhammer 40K. But if you would like to, content, if you could please go there, give them a like, subscribe, help them out a little bit with those. We greatly appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Steven. And I think that the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, uh, I guess Gwen Stacy, I in theory know who that is, and I know she's been there are movies that feature her as a hero. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna talk about something that I've been enjoying recently. It is another podcast. It is a podcast called The Butterfly King from Exactly Right Media. This is a true life investigative journalism podcast that's talking about the life and death of the King of Bulgaria and what occurred during World War II in his court and in his country. And it is a fascinating story that I have never heard of before. Most likely because when the Soviets took over in Bulgaria, they basically quashed the story entirely. But it is an incredible story that I think is worth knowing and that everyone out there should listen to. This is a podcast called The Butterfly King. Uh, right now it is not finished. Not all the episodes are out yet, but I am on tenterhooks waiting for the next episode to drop. So if you are interested in historical nonfiction podcasts, check out The Butterfly King from Exactly Right Media. That is it for our show today. Uh, I am. Oh no, I've been doing so much better on my outros, and I am completely blanking on what I'm supposed to say. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and have fun playing MCP.